Bulletcast for life.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Under the Radar. My name is Brandon Tanguma, and on today's episode, we got the Go Home episode of NXT TV, the latest results and standings for the G1 Climax tournament, as well as Ms. and Misses that I know you guys all love and care about. But first, let's get into some news. We got the NWA apparently doing some television tapings. Billy Corgan posted a video that they are going to be taking wrestling back to its roots with the studio taping format. They said they will be going to Atlanta and taping some television shows on September 30th and October 1st. No venue has been announced and no mention of where the TV taping is going to be. Obviously, Center Stage is a place where NXT has run some television shows. I think AEW is smart to run there as well, especially with Cody Rhodes and the Rhodes family having links to that arena. I think if you didn't think wrestling was going to be crazy enough, if there was enough wrestling for you to get your hands on in the fall with Raw staying in the USA, we got SmackDown moving over to Fox, we got AEW going to TNT. Apparently, we might have NXT moving to Fox Sports 1 to counter-program AEW. And now it looks as though we have the NWA trying to make its rounds in the television game. Who knows if this is actually going to be a television show or if it's going to be just something they put up on the internet. NWA has been doing some great stuff with their 10 Pounds of Gold series, kind of a documentary, real sports-like feel to what they've been doing over there. It's a lot of wrestling to keep track of. We're going to have to stay tuned and see what happens with the NWA. NWA had a partnership with ROH. They amicably split ways, and now we have Nick Aldis as their champion going forward. Let's see what the NWA could do. It's exciting. I don't think they're going to be, as popular as maybe Impact or ROH. I think those are definitely the contenders or the opponents that you would put the NWA in that level. ROH has kind of floundered off. It could be argued that maybe Impact has overtaken ROH as maybe the number 3 promotion in North America, behind obviously WWE and AEW, despite AEW hasn't even run a television show yet, but I think they have enough hype and money behind them that AEW is clearly the number 2 promotion in the North America. But the number 1 promotion is obviously WWE. How much longer that will be, who exactly knows? But we got some injury news to take care of. We got Ruby Riott undergoing her second shoulder surgery in a span of a few months. She posted on her social media on Tuesday that she was in surgery, and she said round 2 fight, because she had surgery on her right shoulder in May, and now she has surgery on her left shoulder, both the same bilateral tear, bilateral injury on both of her shoulders. So now she's gone onto the knife. She should be fine for now. I don't know what the exact timetable would be. It's August right now. You would think, maybe 4 to 6 months, maybe 2 to 4 months, in that range. If she was able to get surgery from May to here, obviously maybe that's like she's not 100% healed on her right shoulder, but she was just able to have surgery on her left shoulder. Who exactly knows? But I think Ruby Riott, we kind of look at the depth chart for the women's division and we kind of think and ponder. She's a good heel. Haven't really explored her as a babyface. I don't think you want to go down that road just yet. She has been kind of downplayed, or she has been kind of diminished, but that's kind of how everything is in WWE at this point. With her feud she had with Ronda Rousey, I believe, where she was just basically just getting squashed, and she didn't really do a whole lot. I think she's a good talent. She's a good wrestler. Personality-wise, she has a different look. She has a okay mic skills, I guess, but with the Riott Squad splitting up, I guess, with Liv Morgan going to SmackDown, we haven't even seen Liv Morgan since her little temper tantrum when she lost to Charlotte. I've seen her on social media. She's still has purple hair, I think, or maybe she has blonde hair. I don't exactly know, but she hasn't really been posting anything or leading to something of her changing. Sarah Logan, we don't exactly know what's going on with her. Ruby Riott's obviously injured. I don't think we're going to I mean, maybe we can get Ruby Riott and Sarah Logan together as a tag team, or maybe Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan as a tag team to kind of spice up that tag team division, if it's even going to be around in the next year. But if you look around the depth chart, I think Ruby Riott is kind of someone that is maybe underappreciated and kind of undervalued for where she is on the card. And with her being injured, I mean, maybe she comes back for the Royal Rumble. I think that's a possibility. Maybe not like a surprise, but maybe she debuts a little bit before the Royal Rumble and she makes her actual in-ring return at the Royal Rumble, but we got to stay tuned and find out for that. So hopefully, wishing Ruby obviously on a speedy recovery and everything pans out for her, because I think she is a fine talent, and I think, I'm not going to say a good hand, because I know people might get triggered if I say that, but shout out Ruby Riott. Hopefully everything pans out well for her. So now let's move on to the latest batch of G1 Climax results. Everything is pretty much finished up. We have the finals for the A and B block. The final nights will be on Saturday and Sunday. And then we have Monday. Well, I guess it's technically Sunday night. Or Sunday night, Monday morning, wherever you live, is going to be the finals for the G1. So by this time next week, we will know who is the G1 Climax winner, who will challenge Okada or the IWGP Heavyweight Champion, whoever that is at that time at Wrestle Kingdom. So let's go to the A block on Saturday, August 3rd. We had Bad Luck Fale defeating Kenta via pinfall. I mean, Bad Luck Fale, I keep saying it, he's okay. He's just kind of there. He's a heel. I mean, Kenta was kind of playing the babyface underdog role in here. I mean, with Kenta having such a strong start, we're going to get to John Moxley in a little bit. I mean, I don't understand why you have him have such a strong start, and then now you have him losing a Bad Luck Fale. I don't exactly know what the whole purpose of that was, but I mean, I think it's just kind of getting Bad Luck Fale a win because he's been losing so much. I don't know. I mean, we're going to have to stay tuned to find out what's going to happen with Kenta moving forward, if he is going to be a full-time New Japan guy, if this was just kind of a one-off, and if he just kind of goes on the indie scene. Maybe he goes, maybe to North. I don't think he's going to go to North America. I think he's going to stay in Japan. And, I mean, this was, an undercard match. It was fine. Nothing a whole lot to write home about. But next up, we have Zack Sabre Jr. and Lance Archer. I mean, good match by both these guys. I mean, I'm singing the praises of Lance Archer. I think going into the tournament, I don't think Gato and the New Japan staff really had any idea that Lance Archer was going to be this good and maybe get this over. So I think, them booking him to lose all these matches isn't going to be isn't a reaction, or whatever the word I'm trying to say, to him getting over. And, I think this real test is gonna be what they do with him after, because I think he is a good talent. I don't see him being in the title hunt for IC or heavyweight title. But I think if he's, facing Ishii or, some other person for the never openweight title, I think that's a good spot for him right now. Maybe he works his way up and maybe we see him challenging for a major singles title next year. But I'm really high on Lance Archer. Zack Sabre Jr. has, as I keep saying, he's kind of fallen from grace a little bit, but now he's getting back on the horse with a win here against Lance Archer. And then in the middle of the card, we have Evil taking on Will Ospreay, and Evil wins again. Will Ospreay, the IWGP Junior Champion, continues to lose some of these matches. And I mean, as I previewed, I wasn't expecting him to, make a run forward and be in that upper echelon of the A block. I thought he was going to do okay. He was going to have really good matches, but in the end, he was going to lose. And this is basically what is going on here. Really good match between these two guys, but in the end, Evil gets the victory. So then moving on, we have the Kota Ibushi going up against Hiroshi Tanahashi. Tanahashi is one of Kota Ibushi's gods. He worships him and he looks up to him. And they're telling a story to where, Kota Ibushi has kind of struggled against Tanahashi. He beat, Tanahashi beat Ibushi in the G1 final last year. And so now Ibushi gets the victory over Tanahashi. And I really enjoyed this match. I thought this is one of my favorite matches of the tournament. I mean, obviously this whole block is really good, but this whole show on Saturday, August 3rd, is maybe one of the best shows, I think, of the year and of the G1 Climax. I really enjoyed this Kota Ibushi match. I think a lot of people are singing the praises of the main event, but I really enjoyed this Kota Ibushi Tanahashi match, and I think It might be my not my favorite match of the tournament, but definitely up there. And I would say this was the best match of the night. But a lot of people are saying that this match was the best match of the night, and that is Okada taking on Sonata. And Sonata gets the victory. The story going into this is Okada is undefeated going into Osaka, and they have played up that the last two times that a IWGP champion going into Osaka. Usually Osaka is, in the middle, later half of the tournament, that they go into Osaka and they end up losing the remainder of their matches. It happened to Okada last year, and it happened to Kenny Omega last year, and it happened to Okada 2 years ago. So now Okada trying to right that wrong, but he doesn't. He ends up losing to Sonata, and I thought it was a really good match once again. The another story, I mean, there's so many different stories and things going on in this match, is that Sonata, I think, has never beaten Okada, so this was a big deal for him. I don't know if I would have done it here. I mean, I think you could have had other people. I mean, if you're going to have Okada just lose one match, besides, maybe the finale with Kota Ibushi, I mean, Sonata is a good choice, but I don't know what you're going to do with him afterwards, because every time, usually, the champion loses to somebody in the G1, they end up facing them in the fall or, in the winter time. And I just don't know if after Sonata beats him, and it's like this triumphant moment, he's going to lose again to Okada in the fall. And I just don't know if that's the right story you want to tell. So maybe, I was singing the praises of Will Ospreay or Lance Archer. I mean, I thought if you put it in this match, and if this is like the match you want Okada to lose, I think that's good. I mean, Sonata is great, but I mean, going forward, I think he's definitely going to have an IWGP title match going on in the fall, and it's going to be a really good match, but I don't see Sonata winning at all, but we're going to have to stay tuned and find out about that. So Okada still continues to be in the lead for the A block, but as he loses, now there is some breathing room, or not as much breathing room, and some people are gaining up on his tails. The A block is pretty straightforward with who we think is going to win. Going to get to that at the very end. The B block, though, getting very muddled, especially what is going on here with Jon Moxley. We have Tomohiro Ishii taking on Toru Yano in the opening match on Sunday, August 4th. I thought this was fun. I mean, all these Yano matches are really short. They're about 5 minutes, if that. And Ishii is just the perfect foil to Yano. Just he doesn't take any of his shit. And Ishii, Yano did actually wrestle in this match. He tried to pull out some roll-ups and some slams and stuff. But in the end, Ishii wins via pinfall. Good, fun match. I thought it's probably one of the better Yano matches you're going to see. Moving on, we get Taichi defeating Juice Robinson via pinfall. Juice is one of those guys who was up in the upper echelon. I think it was maybe solely in second place at this time, and then Taichi ends up beating him. Obviously there's going to be a lot of shenanigans with Taichi, and in the end Taichi just gets the better of Juice. Good, solid match, nothing really to write home about. And then in the middle we got Hiroki Goto taking on Jeff Cobb. As I said, Goto's story going throughout the G1 was that he trained with Katsuyori Shibata, and he was trying to reinvent himself, and he was off to kind of a slow start. I think he won against Jay White in the beginning, but then he kind of stumbled in the middle. But now Goto is definitely hitting his stride now in the G1. I mean, Jeff Cobb, I like him. I was hoping he was going to have better matches in the G1. He hasn't really been able to shine, I think, a whole lot. I thought his match that he had with Shingo Takagi, I thought that was a really good match. I think that might have been one of his better ones, but I don't know what we're going to see with Jeff Cobb moving forward. Is this just going to be a one-off from him? He has worked with New Japan in the past. I mean, this was actually a rematch that I saw live at the Cow Palace for the Never Openweight Championship. Probably not as good. I mean, maybe it was kind of on par, because that match I thought was maybe not disappointing, but it was just kind of in the middle of the card. It wasn't there to steal the show. I think the Jay White, Juice Robinson match and the main event with Cody and Kenny definitely were the ones there to get that upper echelon, get those long-form good matches. But anyways, Goto on his streak. Jeff Cobb was, I think, mathematically eliminated at this point. Kind of definitely a disappointing tournament for Jeff Cobb, I would say. And now we have probably one of the biggest matches in the B block. We have Jay White going on against Jon Moxley, and Jay White defeats Jon Moxley. So now Jon Moxley has lost 2 matches in a row after starting out 5-0, and Jay White, after losing his first 3 matches, he's promised that he's going to go 6-0 or 7-0 or whatever for the remainder of the match, for the remainder of the tournament. And as of this moment, he's living up to that hype. He defeats John Moxley. I thought it was a really good match as well. I mean, all these matches are really good, but I think this one is kind of hitting that maybe second tier, not the first tier of really good matches, but definitely, on the especially for the B block, it was definitely one of the better matches. I thought there was some shenanigans with Ghetto on the corner and the side and all that stuff, but John Moxley starts off strong, and now he's losing clean to Jay White. I mean, not super clean, but this was the first pinfall loss for John Moxley, and he will lose again. And who knows if he's going to lose 4 in a row. Very interesting booking we're seeing from New Japan with John Moxley. And as I speculated, I mean, who knows what exactly his role is going to be in New Japan once AEW's TV show gets off the ground and running. He's going to be there pretty much every single week. And in the main event, we have Tetsuya Naito defeating Shingo Takagi via pinfall. Absolutely fantastic match. Definitely one of the better B-block matches of the tournament. We get 2 LIJ members facing off Naito, obviously the leader, Shingo Takagi. The newcomer, he's kind of, Hiromu Takahashi's replacement after Hiromu got hurt in the Cow Palace. And, really good match from here. Shingo is a cruiserweight or a junior heavyweight, but he's not really. I mean, he's big. He's tall, and really, solid match from them. Good storytelling, and then in the end, when Naito beat him, he was on his post-match promo, and he said that he'd love to do it again, and I would love to see that happen. Going on to the second, or the penultimate A-Block show, we get on Wednesday, August 7th, we have Sonata taking on Lance Archer, and again, another match. I think Sonata was obviously going to beat Lance because Sonata just beat Okada. You can't just have him beat Okada and then lose to Lance Archer in the next match. But good, solid match between these two guys. I think both of them were maybe mathematically. I mean, everybody's mathematically eliminated in the A-Block except for Kota Ibushi and Kazuchika Okada. So, the A-Block the A-Block show on Saturday. There's only one match that really matters, and we're going to talk about that. And we have Bad Luck Fale defeating Hiroshi Tanahashi via pinfall with a backslide. Kind of, a quizzical booking, I would say. I mean, I don't understand why you have Bad Luck Fale beating Tanahashi with a roll-up or with a backslide like that. I mean, they were kind of telling the story that, Tanahashi might have been a little hurt and Bad Luck Fale. I mean, it was just kind of out of nowhere, honestly, and with Hiroshi Tanahashi taking on Will Ospreay in the finale, and if that's going to be like Will Ospreay's, big defining moment of the G1, beating Hiroshi Tanahashi, I think it is downplayed by him losing to Bad Luck Fale. Speaking of Will Ospreay, he takes on Kenta, and Will Ospreay beats Kenta via pinfall. This is kind of today versus yesterday match with Will Ospreay being the high flyer, and Kenta used to be the high flyer, but now he's just kind of the pissed off old man who just beats up everybody. Good solid match. Kenta taking a majority of the offense, and Will Ospreay doing his stuff, selling his ass off with his neck. But in the end, Will hits an Oscut or Super Oscut or something, and he gets the victory. In the semi-main, we get Kota Ibushi against Zack Sabre Jr. Zack Sabre Jr. obviously going to work over that ankle that Kota has been selling for the entirety of the tournament since day one with his match against Kenta. But in the end, Kota Ibushi hits the Bomaye, hits the Kamagoye for the victory. Really good match. Maybe, a little disappointed, but, with both these guys, there's such high expectations that obviously they can't live up to it after this grueling tournament and grueling schedule they've been on. But really good match. Definitely, I would recommend you guys go watch that. And then we get Kazuchika Okada taking on Evil in the finale, or in the main event. And Okada wins, so he kind of breaks the Osaka curse by not going, winless in his last few matches in the A block in the G1. So Okada wins. Evil, really good match. I don't think it was as good as their match 2 years ago when Evil defeated Okada when he was IWGP champion, but definitely a good solid match. I think they can do better, but for the circumstances and everything, good match by them. So then in the B block, the latest B block match taking place on Thursday, we get Toru Yano taking on Taichi, and Yano wins this one via countout. Some more shenanigans in this. Taichi ended up rolling up Yano like a burrito with the ring skirt, which is Velcroed to the ring apron, so that's how he was able to kind of roll him up. Yano almost gets counted out, but he doesn't. He gets back in the ring, and then Taichi with the Katamaru They get rolled up like a burrito on the outside, and they're not able to get out. So that's how Yano gets the victory via countout. Then we have Tetsuya Naito taking on Jeff Cobb and he beats him via pinfall. I thought this was a really good match. Maybe the best match that Jeff Cobb has had. I think Naito definitely, one of the best wrestlers in the world. Jeff Cobb, I think, is really good as well. But Naito storming back. As I said last week, I didn't think Naito was going to win the G1 after everything that has happened with Jon Moxley getting to such a big lead and thinking, oh, Jon Moxley's going to have to lose out for Naito to even have a chance. But it seems as though that's going to happen. That could happen because Hiroki Goto defeats Jon Moxley via pinfall. A very shocking surprise here. Jon Moxley starts off 5-0, and now he's rattled off 3 straight losses, and now he's going up against Switchblade in the finale of the B Block, and who knows what's going to happen there. We're going to go over all the standings and all the different scenarios that could happen in the B block. That one is much more complicated than the A block. Really good match by these two guys. I thought it was kind of weird that they just kind of threw this match in the middle of the show. Especially with the main event. I mean, I really, really enjoyed Shingo Takagi and Tomohiro Ishii. I thought that was maybe a surprise match of the tournament. I thought that was one of my favorite matches. Maybe top 5 of the tournament thus far. Absolutely fantastic. Ishii's amazing. Shingo's amazing. They just absolutely beat the piss out of each other. And it was a whole lot of fun. Shingo actually wins that match via pinfall after just some crazy exchanges, especially at the very end. Just reversal, clothesline, no sell, kick out at one. It was just absolutely fantastic. Definitely check out that one. I mean, maybe my favorite match of the B block, to be honest. And in the semi-main, kind of working backwards, we got Jay White taking on Juice, and Jay White wins. Really hurting Juice's chances of winning the B block, but Jay White continues to storm and goes on his winning ways. He wins via submission after not a clean submission either. Red Shoes gets bumped on the outside. Gato hands Jay White a chair. He bashes Juice's ankle and he puts him in the TTO, the Tanahashi tap out, the move he used to injure Tanahashi. And Jay White wins after Juice was selling. He wasn't really reaching for the ropes. He was kind of just stuck in the middle. And then in the end, Juice tapped out. So let's move on to the standings. At the top of the standings in the A block, we have Okada at 14 and Kota Ibushi with 12. Both of them are going to face off in the finale of the A block. Winner take all. Okada at 14, Ibushi at 12. So if Ibushi wins, he is tied and he gets a tiebreaker because he beat Okada. Pretty straightforward. That's all it is for the A block. Those are the only people that could win out of the A block. So then next up we have 4 people tied in third place with Sanada, Kenta, Tanahashi, and Evil, all with 8 points. And then we have another threesome down at the bottom with Ospreay, Bad Luck Fale, and Zack Sabre Jr. with 6 points. And all the way down at the bottom is Lance Archer with 4 points. Usually Bad Luck Fale is that guy down at the bottom. I kind of wish they flip-flopped where Lance Archer was the one with 6 and Bad Luck Fale was the one at 4. I mean, if you're going to have somebody Bad Luck Fale beat Tanahashi, I would have much rather seen Archer be the one to beat Tanahashi, but I can't really complain too much because I don't think New Japan thought that Archer was going to be the success that he was. But now moving on to the B block, where it gets a lot more confusing. We have a 4-way tie. At the top, we got Jon Moxley, Jay White, Goto, and Naito, all at 10 points. So now if we go to the B block, that has the show that has yet to take place yet, if I can get that up real quick, we have Goto taking on... Hold on, I completely messed that one up. If I can find it real quick, we get the... Come on, I got this. This is great radio. Once again, I'm going off this CBS Sports thing, and I'm trying to see if they have the freaking show that hasn't aired yet, and I'm trying to find it. Scroll up. Nope. There it is. Okay, so now we have Hiroki Goto and Shingo Takagi. So I did find it. That is the semi-main. We have Juice Robinson and Jon Moxley. We have Tetsuya Naito and Jay White, and I believe this is the order of what the match is going to take place. It says that Juice and John is going to open the show in terms of block matches. Then we're going to get Ishii and Taichi, Yano and Cobb, and then Goto and Shingo. So Goto I mean, it can get very confusing right now. So we have Naito and Jay White. So I think maybe we're going to see both Moxley and Goto lose, and then we're going to get Jay White versus Naito. Winner take all. Winner gets the B block action, because I think once you get into, if Moxley wins, then that means that Jay White and Goto own the tiebreaker, and then Naito. See, it's very hard if you try to do this all in your head, because Naito lost to Moxley. Naito is facing White. Naito lost to Goto, right? I believe so. I don't exactly remember, but it's very confusing. There's a whole bunch of different ways they can go with. I think it's going to be straight up Naito versus Jay White for the B block. Very, as I said, I don't understand why they have Moxley go so strong and then lose down the stretch. I think that hurts him. I think if you're going to have him at 10 points to start off, I think you have him start off strong, win 3 matches, then have him lose a few, and then win a few, and then maybe lose his last one, or I just don't. I'm not a fan of Moxley losing so many matches at the very end, especially with him starting off so strong. I mean, he beat Naito, but yet he loses to Goto and Yano. I think you could have used those matches to, elevate some other guys. I think Mike is probably going to get his win back, and then you can get him to face Moxley for the U.S. title. Maybe we see that in the fall. Maybe we see it at Wrestle Kingdom. Who knows? But I mean, if we're looking at it, I think Goto beating Moxley. I mean, it's fine. I'm a fan of Goto, but I just don't really think we're gonna see him, in the main event title picture being the guy like I think Naito is, and I don't understand why you had Naito lose to Moxley if you're gonna have Moxley lose all these matches down the stretch. So anyways, as I said, I picked Ibushi and Naito in the finale, so I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to go with Naito beating Jay White, and then Ibushi beating Okada. I'm not set on Naito actually winning. I can see Jay White, rattling off all those wins, so they have the story of him being super hot going into the tournament finale to face Ibushi. So I mean, if it's Naito versus Ibushi, I'm picking Naito. But if it's Ibushi versus Jay White, I think I'm going to pick Ibushi, just because I think it's they can tell the story of Ibushi beating Okada in the G1, and then he tries to go back and do it again in the G1 final, or in the Wrestle Kingdom final, whatever you call it. But yeah, so that'll do it for me with the G1 Climax. I mean, this is basically the last show that we're going to cover. We have some stuff left to do. Moving on, we got the NXT television report. I mean, this was not really a whole much of a show. This was on August 7th, of course, taped in Full Sail University with Mauro Ranallo, Nigel McGuinness, and Beth Phoenix on commentary. We open with the credits, and we get William Regal standing in the middle of the ring to officiate the contract signing between the NXT Takeover Championship match with the Street Profits and Undisputed Era, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish. Regal introduces the Street Profits, and the Street Profits come out. They do their whole song and dance. They have a good time, and Regal was about to come out, or about to introduce Undisputed Era, but Street Profits cut him off, and they introduced them in their way. He's let's see, what exactly did they say? Montez Ford, they interrupted him and said they could do it better. Montez introduced O'Reilly Auto Parts and Lawrence Fishburne Jr., the Undisputed Era. So O'Reilly and Fish came out, and there was a Auto Parts chant. They go back and forth on the mic. They talk about how, they're one of the best tag teams in the division, Undisputed Era, that is. Street Profits put over Undisputed Era, but they said they're going to beat them. Undisputed Era called them a joke and all this other stuff. Pretty straightforward, solid stuff. It was entertaining to see the Street Profits in the NXT environment, because I keep saying I love the NXT Street Profits a lot more than the WWE Street Profits. I mean, this was kind of the only real storyline driven thing that really happened on the show. I mean, in terms of TakeOver, we're going to get into some other stuff that happened, but the show was really just based on video packages and things hyping TakeOver. Not a whole lot of stuff actually happened on this show. They plug Matt Riddle facing Killian Dane in the main event. We get Slipknot's Corey Taylor addressing the NXT universe, speaking with his mask on, and he talked about some stuff. He plugged his new album. He plugged the We Are Not Your Kind because we're NXT. He plugged, basically just plugged because Slipknot is kind of like the official band of NXT now. So it was kind of cool to see Corey and see Slipknot and NXT kind of have this cool relationship going. We get hype for Shayna Baszler and Mia Yim. They did the video package. They kind of did all this stuff. Strong video as you would expect, but they've kind of played this. They've kind of done the same thing going forward. We get Shane Thorne taking on Joaquin Wilde, formerly known as DJZ, and Shane Thorne wins in 7 minutes and 25 seconds. This was a pretty good match for what you would expect. I mean, Shane Thorne coming off his TM61 fame, going to singles now. I thought this was a really good match. I mean, with DJZ losing, he lost his opening match in the Breakout Star Tournament, and now he loses again. I'm a little worried to see where they're going to slot him in NXT. Is he going to just kind of be a designated jobber? Is he going to, they're going to tell a story of him on the come up, but I think Shane Thorne, they have some bigger things for him right now. Obviously, he cut his little promo at the end of one of the Breakout Tournament matches. I thought, this was kind of a lot of time for an opening NXT match. Usually these matches last like sub 5 minutes, but I mean, both are good talents. If I'm taking stock in one of them, maybe I would take Shane Thorne. I mean, I think he has a good look. He has, good personality. He's a good enough wrestler that I think I would maybe take him over Joaquin Wilde or DJZ. We get the rundown of Io Shirai and Candice LeRae's feud. We get Matt Riddle taking on Killian Dane, and as Riddle entered, we get Dane blindsiding him, and Dane tossed Riddle into the steps and hit a cannonball. Riddle was taken out to the announcers, confirmed that there is going to be no match, and probably sort of saw it coming because the match it aired like I think 20 minutes before the show even was going to end, so it kind of was out of nowhere about how early the match started, and then of course Killian does the attack, kind of a bait and switch. I'm not going to be too mad about it because NXT doesn't do it a whole lot. I mean, it was kind of surprising to begin with that Matt Riddle and Killian Dane was going to have this match on NXT television. I thought this was maybe a takeover match, but they have the Io Candice match, which is kind of the extra match on the show, which makes it, I think, might make it longer than some of the normal matches on the card. I don't even know what the hell I'm saying at this point. No contest. I mean, I think obviously maybe Matt Riddle comes out on TakeOver and kind of storms the set and maybe challenges Killian Dane right there. Something he did at the was it War Games or whatever, where he kind of challenged Cassius Ohno. So it should be a good feud, good match eventually once it happens. But I think Matt Riddle's going to have I think he's gonna beat Killian Dane. I think Killian Dane's just kind of there to keep Riddle busy until ultimately he goes to that NXT Championship match. We get a recap of the Breakout Tournament. We get some introductions from the competitors and blah 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 blah. And they announce that next week the Breakout Tournament Finals will take place. So we get ACH taking on Trevor Lee, and that's going to be the show after TakeOver, which is taped before TakeOver. So it's going to be in front of the hot crowd at TakeOver. So that should be a whole lot of fun. Hopefully, especially the NXT, the Breakout Tournament should be given enough time. Should be a whole lot of fun. I'm hoping Trevor Lee or Cameron Grimes, whoever you want to call, wins, but should be good. Kathy Kelly interviews Breezango backstage, and it was a WWE.com exclusive. I wonder how they got that scoop. And Fandango said that he was deep undercover and said that they were so busy policing other people's fashion sense that they forgot to police themselves. And they said that Breezango needs to be reimagined. Next week, we're going to get Breezango facing Steve Cutler and Wesley Blake. So I think that's going to be the opening match, with the Breakout Tournament being the main event. And the main event of the show was a very lengthy video package on Gargano and Adam Cole. We kind of got kind of the conclusion of the Adam Cole Bebe Championship tour. With we're just seeing Cole just going from town to town defending his title. And one thing I thought was interesting is they showed him, wrestling and have him, defending, or not really defending the title, but just having matches on house shows. But the only person that they really explicitly showed him facing in an NXT title match was Keith Lee, and they showed Keith Lee losing to Adam Cole with Keith Lee on the ground. And I keep saying, Keith Lee, I like him, but they're just not pushing him that strong. I mean, he had his match with Punishment Martinez, and then he lost. So now they have him kind of visibly, jobbing again to Adam Cole, which I thought was interesting. Maybe a precursor to a Keith Lee heel turn, possibly just because he gets frustrated about him losing all the time and he turns heel on somebody. Who knows? I mean, maybe a babyface Johnny Gargano gets a heel Keith Lee if that's what Gargano's going to do after, if he isn't going to win the NXT Championship and he's not going to the main roster. I think that could be a whole lot of fun. So we're going to have to stay tuned and find out about that. We get Gargano. He talked with Seth. He talked with Finn. Kind of talking about his championship run and kind of wanting to be like Seth because he's the champion and blah 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 blah. And so Gargano was at the Performance Center. Tegan Knox put him over. Xia Li put him over. Just a really great segment. It was really lengthy. It really put over both of them. What they're doing, what they're fighting for, and all this stuff. Maybe portrayed Cole a little bit too much of a babyface. I would say he wasn't like an overt heel. He was definitely Adam Cole being cocky and stuff like that. But he wasn't like a dick like he can be in some of these segments. But this is a great show. A great video package. It was just kind of, you can just plug and play. You can run that again on a pre-show or just, maybe, a watered down, cut up 5-minute version of that on NXT TakeOver. And I wouldn't be shocked if we see that. But only one match really on the show. And kind of disappointing to see the Killian Dane Matt Riddle thing not even take place. But I thought this episode was productive with all the different video packages, and it definitely put over all the different feuds, from the women's match to the main event with the men's title match, and even the Candice and Io thing I thought was pretty good as well. Moving on, finally, we have the Miz and Mrs. TV report. I know y'all have all been dying to hear this. We get the Miz and Maryse getting in a little bit of a squabble because Maryse thinks that Miz does not listen to her. But so they go to like some hearing specialist or some hearing thing where the Miz has to like listen to a beep, and if he hears the beep, he puts button his finger and blah 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 blah. But in the end, they just realize that no, he's not. He doesn't have hearing loss. The Miz is just a man, and he has selective hearing. So when he listens to Maryse, he doesn't. He kind of listens to her, but doesn't actually listen to her. And then Maryse has her issues as well with the Miz because Maryse doesn't like put the keys away in the proper spots, always losing the remotes and all this other stuff. So the Miz and Maryse come to a compromise that when Maryse needs Miz's attention, she blows the whistle, which is definitely going to go over well with the Miz within the next week or two. But then they also bought like all these different gimmicks and like things where if you push a button it makes a whole bunch of noise so you can find where it is, and they have it all color coded. They have it up on a wall. And there you go. It's all nice and pretty. So that is the Miz and Mrs. report. Just a half hour, so they go by pretty quickly. Nothing really spectacular here. And that'll do it for me for today. Checked the UTR mailbag. It is empty, of course. It's always empty because no one emails me. But if you would like to email, send a question at utrmailbag@gmail.com. That's utrmailbag@gmail.com. If you want to slide into the DMs, I got access to Twitter. You can slide into the Bulletcast Twitter, send in a question, put UTR in. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same timetable as normal. We're going to do it Thursday or Friday. It's one of those days, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to do it Thursday just because I don't have all this G1 stuff to catch up on. That's really what's been pushing me back. And I'm like, it's been very nice to have all this G1 talk be in blocks of 4 nights. All nicely wrapped up together. Stay tuned for Saturday. I will be doing NXT TakeOver recap on that. We'll be doing with Philip on Sunday the SummerSlam instant analysis recap as well. So 3 back-to-back days of podcasting for your boy. Until next time, make sure to email, send us your thoughts on NXT TakeOver, on SummerSlam, send it to the Bulletcast, send it to UTR, whatever you like. We want to hear from you. I want to hear from you, people. I don't know what Philip thinks, but I want to hear from you. So until next time, thank you all very much for listening. And until next time, goodbye and good night. Bye-bye.